imagined the scene outside. Sidewalks and streets filled with commuters on their way to work, and later in the morning, shoppers carrying bags, people walking dogs, and women pushing baby strollers. Below the window, she heard two men speaking German. Evelyn spoke the language fluently, having learned it from her grandparents. They were talking about the weather, a nice, safe topic. She recognized their voices. One of the men was Fritz Fischer, who worked at the fish market, and the other was Leo Kurtz, who owned the jewelry store below the apartment. She'd met Leo in the fall, after Frank had grabbed her by the neck and broke the clasp on a favorite necklace. She took it to him to repair, and when she returned to pick it up, he gently inquired if Frau Conway was feeling well. Realizing he'd seen the marks on her neck, she tried to assure him she was well, but burst into tears. Leo had offered her a chair and sweet tea. He made the most delicious tea, and listened with growing concern as she told him about her marriage. She didn't know why she was confiding in him, since he was a complete stranger, and yet she couldn't stop. She was desperate to tell someone. When she was done, Leo insisted she come home with him and stay with his wife and two daughters. Evelyn was grateful but declined the invitation. This was her problem, and she wasn't going to disrupt his family's lives or subject them to Frank's wrath. When Leo asked if she would at least visit him every week so he might keep an eye on her, she agreed. It seemed a sensible plan to make sure Frank hadn't killed her. After her first few visits, she realized Leo was in more trouble than she was. He was Jewish and the owner of a jewelry store. Jews were being pressured to sell their shops at a bargain basement rate, determined by Nazi officials, of course, to non-Jews. He told her he wanted to sell to his employee, Rolf, a Christian and a friend. But Rolf didn't want to be part of a scheme to remove Leo from his business, and Leo was having trouble convincing him. He asked Evelyn to intervene. She spoke to Rolf and made him see the sense of buying Leo's store. Perhaps one day, she'd said, Leo will return to Germany, and if the business is still profitable, they could go into business together. This was the winning argument, and Rolf agreed he would sign the papers, but only if it became absolutely necessary. Like so many Germans, he didn't want to believe what he was seeing and hearing every day was true. Evelyn could understand. For far too long, she'd been in denial about Frank's brutality. When the men's conversation came to an end, she decided to go downstairs and ask Leo if he knew a doctor who made house calls. She would have called him on the telephone, but Frank always unplugged it before he left for work, and diligently checked the phone bill every month to make sure she wasn't making any calls. Taking a deep breath, she pushed herself out of the chair and slowly made her way to the hall. The staircase to the lobby was long and winding, and she took the steps down slowly. By the time she reached the lobby, her stomach felt like someone was twisting it in knots. On the sidewalk, she avoided the stares of passers-by as she limped to the jewelry shop. But when she turned the door handle, nothing happened. The door was stuck, and pushing on it only made her feel dizzy. Leaning her forehead on the cool glass, she hoped she wouldn't pass out on the street. Suddenly, the door opened, and Leo helped her inside, calling out to Rolf. As the younger man appeared from the workshop, Evelyn's knees buckled and Rolf ran to her, while Leo held her up. Together, they led her to a small cot in an alcove in the back of the store. "I'm so sorry to be a bother," Evelyn said, resting her head on the pillow. "It's my stomach. Do you know a doctor who makes house calls?" "I did, but he moved to Belgium a week ago with his family," Leo said. "Be honest, Evelyn. Did Frank hurt you again?" She tried not to cry, but seeing Leo's kind face and the concern in Rolf's eyes, she wept. Leo took a handkerchief from his pocket and handed it to her. "You must report him to the police. This cannot continue." "No, I can't. His position at the embassy, it would cause problems." Rolf snorted. "He deserves to have a problem. I agree with Leo. Enough is enough." "I shouldn't have come." She pushed herself up. "I'm sorry." Leo gently pushed her back. "Do not apologize. We will hail a taxi, and Rolf will take you to the hospital. Tonight, I will talk to Frank." "No, please don't." "Frank could do more than hurt you," Leo said. "The next time..."